Well, and Gregg, Jarrett, you're in the strategy room amid fears of more terror attacks following the deadly shootings at home and abroad. Lawmakers want to try to crack down on visitors into the U.S. to ensure the Paris attacks will not be repeated here. Legislation denying visa-free travel to anybody who's been in Iraq or Syria over the past 5 years set for a vote in the House of Representatives today. Joining us now with political analysis, David Mercer, Brad Blakeman, both are in D.C. David, look, as it stands now, citizens in 38 different countries can travel to the United States without a visa, and they can stay for 90 days. Doesn't it make sense just to add a caveat here through legislation that, wait a minute, if you've been in Iraq or Syria, the so-called caliphate that ISIS is trying to establish, or to some extent has established, that those people should not be allowed into the visa waiver program? What do you think?
Well, I think what I would do is, if you have traveled, or if one has traveled to Syria or Iraq and is coming in from another entry point or from another point in Europe or otherwise, that with the knowledge that they've been in Syria and Iraq, that would take a double look. That would be a flag. That would maybe require greater scrutiny and longer vetting process. And so I would agree that that is warranted. But at the same time, not to have a blanket, we will take no one who's ever been in Iraq or Syria trying to enter in from Europe. I think it does warrant a flag, and that should be doubly checked and vetted.
Brad, what do you think?
I don't think it goes far enough. I think there should be other countries added to that program, including Pakistan, Afghanistan.
Yemen?
Absolutely. And America, if we're going to make sure or ensure as best we can that we're safe, then we better start looking at places where terrorists have taken hold and include those countries. It doesn't mean that we're not friendly with these countries. What it does mean is we're more cautious with these countries. And an ounce of prevention is exactly what's needed here.
Brad, let me stick with you for just a second. How do you calculate the politics of this in both the House and the Senate, not to mention the White House? How's this going to proceed? Will it succeed?
Look, this should be a no-brainer for Republicans and Democrats. We should be coming together with the president and tell the president, look, it's not only Syria and Iraq. We want other countries added to this. We know where these terrorists are. We know where their strongholds have been. And we need to broaden this, Mr. President, and I would hope the Republicans and Democrats would come together in good faith to protect America. And this is a real easy way to do it.
You know, David, I've noted that there are already a bunch of Democrats on board with putting some pretty stringent, serious limits on the visa waiver program here. So shouldn't this be a no-brainer for the Democrats as well?
Well, and I think, I don't know about a no-brainer, and it should be analyzed, and it should be discussed and deliberated and debated, as is happening in the House and Senate. And I would think, going with Brad's spirit of bipartisanship, and Republicans and Democrats coming to address the ways to reduce the threat, is not only on the visa waiver program, but also, as I will remind all of us, that why are we allowing those that are on a no-fly list to also be able to purchase guns? That is a threat, and we should have a common sense approach to dealing with that, be it Republican and Democrats, in the same fashion.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem, David.
Please tell me.
And this was what kills legislation in this town. It's easier to kill something, Gregg, in Washington than get something done. And when you start adding things that are ancillary or not germane to the question, you kill things. We should have a standalone bill.
This could have been on the floor at the House.
Let's not talk about gun control right now.
We're not talking gun control. We're talking about guns not being in the hands of those that are on a no-fly list.
And that's a great debate to have.
There's a reason why they're on a no-fly list, and that's because they have been alleged or could be problematic or create a terrorist act. So why are we also not? Why are we allowing them to still be able to get guns here in this country?
Great
makes
debate
no
to
sense
have.
me.
Hey, David, as an ancillary question,
Sure.
I'm so tempted to put this to you because I'm from California.
Please.
Governor Jerry Brown was touting that his state, California, has the strictest gun laws in the country. The real problem are the neighboring states. He seems to have conveniently overlooked the fact that these, according to the feds, were guns that were purchased in California. Has Governor Moonbeam gone back to the moon?
I'll leave that to Californians to judge.
Some say he never left the moon.
Right. That said, I think that with gun control or with stricter measures on licensing and gun shows and access to guns that don't get registered and otherwise, that of course that you reduce the chances of guns getting in the wrong hands. That said, it's not to say that it eliminates that with those measures in hand, you're not going to have isolated instances, but you will have reduced instances, and I think that is where I come out on it. You're reducing the incidences, not to say that they all will be eliminated.
Jerry Brown's theme song, Fly Me to the Moon. David and Brad, thank you both for being with us on this developing story. Go to foxnews.com. I'm Gregg Jarrett. Thank you for watching.